look at our supply chain, we don't just work with the bigger companies. We also work with the small, medium enterprises that may not be ready for ESG. They may not have enough to even think about ESG compliance. What we hope to do is, through our green procurement and supply chain policy, is trying to help at least educate them. So get them to understand what they need to do.
Maybe you can explain a little bit more about the supply chain and how does that help to support the larger ecosystem?
There are a lot of things for a company like JCorp can do, because we realize that, especially when we look at our supply chain, it's not just we don't just work with the bigger companies. We also work with the small, medium enterprises that may not be ready for ESG. They may not have enough to even think about ESG compliance. What we hope to do is, through our green procurement and supply chain policy, is trying to help at least educate them. So get them to understand what they need to do, and give maybe, there are incentives not just on the JCorp level but on the national level that actually helps the supply chain, the small medium industries to move up and become sustainable too. So we do that by giving them some help, some education, and just making sure that we move them into the direction that we want them to go. This not only helps them, but it also helps Johor and the nation as a whole, because it affects how they do business, especially when it comes to new regulations like carbon tax, which will affect them directly as well.
Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So how can JCorp improve its governance to promote ESG in the industry as well as within the region?
Other than revamping our policies, as what I mentioned earlier, JCorp is also making sure that we are very transparent in what we do. There are a lot of structures in place to make sure that everything is done in a way that is sustainable, one, and also it helps in a way where it is encouraging to the larger ecosystem in general. This is part of our membina for the community as well as a whole.
So you mentioned earlier on the membina, right? And JCorp also has the membina and membela. So how does membela come in the picture, and how do we support the community in terms of the ESG initiatives?
Well, in JCorp, there is also a foundation that has been around for quite a while. I think it has been around for more than 25 years. And they carry the corporate social responsibility for JCorp and the group of companies. Within Yayasan Johor Corporation, they are also quite agile in looking at what are the current concerns. So as JCorp grows, Yayasan JCorp also grows. We look at where the impacts of JCorp as an entity, and we help by making sure that the community is not affected or less affected by it. So a lot of things that are being done to make sure that it stays sustainable, and also raise the community. So it's not just about helping the community, but it's helping to raise the value of living.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because I think sustainability affects us in all, right? Not just the people, but also the businesses. And before I end the session today, perhaps I'd like to ask you about what is your vision for a sustainable future?
Well, that's a very hard question. I suppose a vision for the sustainable future is basically, I hope that our children, our grandchildren will also have the same kind of benefits and same sort of things that we now have. I mean, we want to make sure that they have an earth to live in that still has the tapirs, still have the pandas. So it's not just a picture in the book for them. So it is something that is also still alive, very much part of their future.
So I have another question for you, but it's not sustainability related. So what comes to your mind if I say, name me 5 things from Johor?
Burasa, Zapin, which is Zumba for Johor. JPO. 4th is Asam Pedas. Okay lah, Iskandar Puteri Wali.
Okay lah, set lah. So thank you for your time, Zai. This has been a very delightful conversation. So thanks for watching. Tune in to the next episode. And can we do a little mini love? For JCorp,